A wonderful Happy New Year. Of course, the year 2025. I am George Onyibe, and this is my message to fellow Nigerians and all humanity across the globe who cares. A message I simply titled, "There is no clean slate for anybody." You know, it is the 1st of January, 2025. And of course, a lot of people, as custom demand, will be going through resolution. That idea, that notion will be running in their mind. They will tell you, this is a new year. I will not do this. I will not do that. They make resolution. But let me tell you the truth. Before the end of February, all of them will break that resolution. And so the mind or the truth behind this fact is not because of your inability to stand by your words, but it's to make you understand that you are not actually in total control of your life. Yes, we are free moral agents. And if you are not the one in total control of your life and this area where you are allowed to operate without interference, you have to work on it. And like I said, it's the beginning of a new year. A lot of people will come up with resolution which they cannot keep even before the end of this first month, January. Why is it so? Why am I bringing up this topic? It is to guide everybody, most especially Nigerians, to understand what is known as DNA. A lot of people who have betrayed you before, if they have the opportunity, they will still betray you 100 times. That does not mean they cannot change, but that means that there is part of them they cannot help, and not until you are able to deal with this aspect of your life. Understanding that there is no clean slate for anybody, you may not be able to get your destination. I will want to refer you to the Bible in the book of Psalm, and that should be Psalm chapter 139, verse 16 specifically. David was saying something. He said, "Before I was formed in my mother's womb, you know me, and every member of my body was recorded in your book." That is what caught my mind. When you look at the Bible, I do not quote the Bible because I'm a Christian, but I quote the Bible because in it is hidden treasures of this universe, presented to humanity in code. Only those that can harness it, only those that can see beyond the literature will benefit from it. Biologically, you are taught of DNA. And when you look for DNA on the Christian arena, David actually in Psalm 139 was talking about the DNA. He said, "Every of my member was written in your book, even before I was formed in my mother's womb." Do you know what he was talking about? David was actually prophetically telling us about the science discovery known as the DNA. We parents, most cases, blame ourselves for not being able to train our children. We blame ourselves for not being able to do a lot of things. We begin to look down on ourselves for so many reasons. These are issues that are beyond your control. Let me digress. Some of you have sent your children to study medicine in the university. Some are to become lawyer, others engineer, as the parents desire them to be. But most of them come back not even participating in any field or a professional endeavor, not being lawyer, doctors as you wish. You blame yourself because your children, you feel they are not morally, their moral upbringing was low. You blame yourself for not being able to be the best parents. You blame yourself over your husband's character, your wives. You blame yourself for everything because you feel you can control them. You feel you can influence them. Stop blaming yourself. Whoever they are, whatever they will become, it has been written down even before they were formed in their mother's womb. The only thing we can do is to work on making proper use, the positive aspect of it, in fact, including the negative, as the case may be, but for the overall good of humanity. Because in the end, Satan is still doing what is helping all of us today. And now let's go back. Before we were born, before we were formed in our mother's womb, our pattern of DNA has been registered. And that is why some of us come, we copy half of our mother, we copy half of our father. Some of us come, we copy our father, and then other copy their father, their mother, and then other copy their uncle they never knew. Believe me, there is nothing you will do about it. All of us are meant to walk towards a particular direction in life. The shape of your nose has been recorded even before you were formed in your mother's womb. Your height, your brain, how you're going to function, whether you're going to be an armed robber, whether you're going to be a holy man, all of them were recorded in your DNA. I know you're going to ask me a question. Then, does it mean that God should be held responsible? No. That is not the point I want you to get. I want you to understand, first of all, that there is no clean slate for anybody. And then secondly, that you can make proper use of what has been given to you by looking inward to find out who you are. For God's sake, if you discover in this 2025 that you are born to be a criminal, be the Robin Hood. Are they not celebrated in the Hollywood movie? Be the Superman. In fact, Robin Hood is the best. If in your DNA, criminality runs in your lineage, don't kill yourself. Rob from the rich and give to the poor. But also remember not to forget to rob the poor and give to the rich. At the end, you would have been able to fulfill the law of nature. And that is why they call him Robin Hood. He married the daughter of a very wealthy person. He robbed from wealthy people and then give to the poor. He balanced the equilibrium. Maybe you will understand. And then maybe you are born to be a holy man. Please, be a holy man and don't criticize the Satan. Because God allowed both of them to coexist for a reason best known to him. Considering the fact that before we were created, every of our member, from our character to our body future, all of them were recorded in his book. There is no clean slate for anybody. And so as Nigerians, a people who are going through unusual transformation, you may be right, and they're going to come on the social media platform and condemn you. Believe me, brothers and sisters, you are a light like no other. You must shine, irrespective of whose else is God. Because in the end, you would have saved more than would have been destroyed if you don't do what you are supposed to do. Let me come back so you understand. Today in Nigeria, we have seen the fraudulent narratives behind this idea called Wazobia. It is obvious to all of us that our problem as Nigeria is the notion, is the mindset behind the creation of Wazobia. And this is not a way to tell you that Yoruba is bad or Hausa is bad or Igbo is bad, but this is to tell you that anybody that promotes Wazobia is the part of Nigerian problem. Because Ikure man was created to be an Ikure man, but Igbo man say no, you must wipe it out and become Igbo man. This is where the problem comes in. And then many Ikure people are making effort to say we are not Igbo, including Anyoma. We say we are not Igbo. But Igbo man say no, you must be Igbo. Now, they believe we do not have our slate. It's written by their edict. They have written who we are. And we say this is not who we are. You move to the north. When the Igbo man commits crime, they blame it on all of us. Oh, Akwa Ibom, you are Igbo. Oh, Bini, you are Igbo. All of us, they call us Enyamere. They are the one assuming we have a plain slate and they are going to write how our life will be. And it's applicable to the Yoruba people. But why will this three ethnic group begin to tell us where we belong to when they know nothing about who we are? Let me digress a little bit because this is 2025. It is not going to be business as usual. The only way to emancipate you from mental slavery, the only way to save you from self-destruction is to give you knowledge. And it is said, knowledge is power. If you see, as we have found ourselves today in Nigeria, there are a lot of things that are not normal, but we have to sustain it. We have to promote it. We have to say it is the right thing because we are afraid, even when it is written in our DNA, to expose those atrocities. And so today in Nigeria, you have a group of people fighting for their own interest, not for the overall interest of all of us who have found ourselves as Nigerians. Believe me, nobody has a clean slate. The era of conquering is over. Any ethnic group under the umbrella of Wazobia that is looking for who to conquer, this is 2026. You are living in the former dispensation. This is a new era. Let me explain to you. Maybe you will understand. There was a time a man will walk away from his father and then occupy a land where nobody has occupied and then start making family. This was another dispensation. And then you will hear that Abraham was the father of the Hebrews. He found the Hebrew nation. He married his sister and brought another Egyptian woman, Haggai, and pregnanted both of them. They both have sons, 2 sons, according to the Bible, Ishmael and then Isaac, one the father of Islam, another the father of Christianity. And both of them began to have children, focusing on Isaac. He later on had only one son, Isaac, that gave birth to Jacob, 2 boys. Then the 2 separated and they become fathers of nation. And then Jacob had 12 children. among which gave birth to the Hebrew nation as recorded in the Bible. And now these people come from nowhere. They had a land and they become a great nation. And God said, I will give you a nation whose population will outnumber the sand by the seashore. And those were that era, where one Igbo man, only God knows where he comes from, with his wife, and then he moved into one area somewhere in the southeast today of Nigeria. He married a woman, only God knows where they come from. They start having children, and somebody from Igbo now can tell you that the first son of Igbo man is Anambra. Nobody is arguing that. That same era where one person was said to be Oduduwa, and he came and started having children, and the children scattered all over Africa. And some of them now in Nigeria say they are Yoruba. Remember the Yoruba in Benin Republic, another part of Africa, didn't say they are Yoruba. But the ones in Nigeria say they are Yoruba, but they are all lineage of Oduduwa nation. And now you have the Yoruba nation here in Nigeria. They occupy the current day southwest. And then you have the Hausa. God knows where their father came from. They settled in the northern part of Nigeria. They start having children, and today they can lay claim that they owns the territory. But who did they actually buy it from? Who's agreement that said they are the owner of that land? Now understand, this was that dispensation where nations are formed. Some were forged through the fluence of the sword, to the barrel of the gun. Our fathers did the same thing. And then one day, one Aboma walk out from God nowhere, who know who he married, and start giving birth to children. And now we are Abo people. This era has gone. And I thank God because of the arithmetic progression, if I will refer it to that way, we kept record. The world respect this boundary. Nobody has been disputing that this land belonged to you or this land didn't belong to you, except where a game of deceit was played. And to be able to unravel the mystery behind any country dragging land today, you go back and tell the two parties involved to tell you the truth. And what am I saying? If you wake up today as a Nigerian, begin to claim territory, when we have left that dispensation, my brother, you will not like the reception. That is the cause of this struggle we are going through, this reformation we are going to go through holistically in this 2025. Because some people come out, they say, no, because you are in the north, you are not tenant. No, everybody in the north is not from the north. They are not Hausa. Everybody in the north is not Hausa. Hausa must accept that now. The time for creating kingdom is over. And everybody from the west is not Yoruba. Yoruba must accept this. And those of you who are on social media, I will advise you, with the level of your supposed wisdom, you're still very empty. Some of you hide under Yoruba umbrella to do what you are doing. And people are calling out Yoruba. And Yoruba is not that. But Yoruba may like it because it is in their favor. Somebody tell Rhino or Mockery, he should talk about his people. His people, they say he's a Shekiri man. But he blow the trumpet of the Yoruba more than the Shekiri people. And I'm sure he's going to talk down on his people if the time comes. But he's going to tell me that they migrated from Yoruba. Your father's Ishekirima would have remained in Lagos State. It should have remained in Southwest. My brother, stop deceiving your children. This is 2025. And this is the era to build, not to conquer. Nobody is conquering anybody now. Even the people who are still conquering, they will get the reception sooner than expected. I talked about Dele Momodu in my recent broadcast, and I was shocked to know that Dele Momodu is a Benin man. He hardly sing the praise of Benin people, but he's rubbing body with Yoruba. But if Dele Momodu is Yoruba, let him go to Yoruba or Osun State or wherever belong to Yoruba. But he's a Benin man. Association and assimilation. Indirect rule. We understand those colonial master policies, but it won't work now. That is why they rule us by proxy. Indirect rule. They control us. What am I trying to say? We have found ourselves in Nigeria over 1,000 ethnic groups. I continue to say it, but officially 250 are recognized. So let us assume we are 250 ethnic groups. Why are you jumping up and down and claiming everybody? You have gone to the extent that most of our authority has been removed, but most of you do not know. In my next broadcast, I will tell you how your authority has been removed and why most of us will remain unstable until we get ourselves back. But let me not go there so that I will not confuse you. I was saying that nobody came to this world with a clean slate. We are here to fulfill a purpose. And now, like I said, those who conquered land for us that we are dragging now have done their job and they have left. And what we are supposed to do is to develop the land that our fathers have secured for us, to build on what they have built. If you think that God still give you right in your DNA, in this dispensation, that you are going to come to Nigeria and inherit Ikure and inherit Benin and inherit all of us because you are an expansionist under the umbrella of Wazobia, my dear, you do not have the mandate anymore. That was the last dispensation. But you see this dispensation we are walking into. It is a dispensation for every ethnic group to know that they are not a product of coincidence. They did not come because Yoruba man or Igbo man or Hausa man said you should be there. Your father had a mandate to create your ethnic group. The Nupe man has the mandate to create Nupe people, Gwari people, Adamawa people, Ibibio people, Efik people, Yoruba people, Ikore people, Ishekiri people, Eka people, Anyocha people, Osimiri people, Ndokwa people. These people had the mandate to do that. And our mandate is to preserve it. And so, anybody who is not trying to preserve your culture, your heritage, or they are trying to inherit you, don't back down for them. Because when you were born as Abo man, it is written in your DNA to defend Abo people. And so when we are doing what we are doing, we may not fully understand, but we cannot help it. And so it must flow. Remember, every of our member was written in his book. There is virtually no coincidence in what we are doing. But the application is what is very important. The same way our father has conquered the land of Ikure for you, Ikure man. Do you know the land mass one man occupied? And at the end of the day, you are Ikure man. He expects you to develop on it. You didn't come here as a spectator for anybody. But because you are not aware of this, you believe somebody will be the one to forge your future for you. Some of you whose ethnic group may not be known in Nigeria today, believe me, you may be the true savior of Nigeria. Let me explain to you a little bit how it happens. I had the privilege of studying a particular family, a particular community, right here in River State then. And they were given the history of the man known as Eche and the man known as Igrita. And the message was shocking. And that elderly man said that the man called Igrita and the man called Eche were best friends, very close friends. And when they came to this land, he didn't say they are brothers. He didn't say they are the same father or the same. He said they were best friend, best of all the friends. And they settled down somewhere in Igrita. And they start having children, start acquiring land, because that was the dispensation. Eche acquired land all the way from Rumukurushi, Oye Mill, down the way to the boundary of Imo State, running down hundreds of communities like Atali, like Eneka, like Elimbu, running down to which area? Do we go to the Rupoko Aziz? All of them gathered land. But they said Igrita was very kind. And so every friend that come close to him, he shared land to them. He gave land to his high priest. He gave land to his servant. He gave land to everybody. And that gave birth to the size of Igrita today. But then he said that Eche was not that kind of person. His land was for him and his family alone. And then Eche said to Igrita, we see you are a kind man, and you love sharing your own land to people. But we will not do that. So that we will not have problem, let's divide our land. And that is how Igrita and Eche divided their land. And the two friends parted way without quarrel. Today, if you know the land mass this both community occupies, you will not believe them. That man called Eche and that man called Igrita, like the father of your community, have the mandate to do that. That is why nobody is dragging land with them. That is why nobody is challenging them. That era has gone. And then you are from any of this community, any of this ethnic group in Nigeria. Your mandate is to preserve what God gave to them. Nobody is inheriting any land again. No? Nobody is inheriting any land. You cannot go to any piece of land now that does not belong to anybody. The last time I checked, it is only one piece of land in the world that nobody has laid claim to, and that is the Antarctica. But we know what they are hiding. That is why they don't want you to know about the Antarctica. Because several countries come together and sign a treaty and say nobody goes there. Nobody owns that land. Nobody invests there. You can't fly over it. You can't swim under it. You can't walk past it. That is the only land. But every other land belongs to people. Nigerians, respect this. Igbo man begging for unity, respect this. Yoruba person trying to claim another, respect this. Awusa trying to claim TV and Idoma, respect this. There are a lot of things given to every one of us. There are a lot of things that make each and every one of us unique. I will encourage you, whether you are a Christian or not, go and review that Psalm 139. It clearly reviews it. You were wonderfully made. You are the product of his workmanship. What he wants you to be, every member was written in them. Everything was written in them. And then Jesus had 12 disciples, and one of them was ordained to betray him. And you tell me that God is not aware of what Judas will do? And when you see Judas in heaven, supposedly on that day, in heaven, you will say God is partial. Are you the one that create motor? To decide that when you couple all the engine, both the crankshaft, the engine block, the piston, the rings, the alternator, the kickstarter, when you couple all of them, and without engine oil, the engine will knock. Are you the engineer? And then when God chooses you to do the right thing, do it. But also, if God chooses you to cause problem, please cause problem. Those of us who have been choosing to settle problem, we will settle your problem. Just that it will not be in a way you like. This is a new year. Nobody comes with plain slate. Don't let anybody write your history. And you walk up one day, somebody say, you see, your name was Jambu, or Jambu was Okuruku, and then change your history. You should know better. The only thing we are here to do is to preserve what has been given to us. Your community was given to your father. You have to preserve your culture, your heritage, your tradition, everything. You must preserve it. Nigeria now is our dear country, and we have to preserve it. All this open scatter going on, we will preserve it. We will build it. We will take Nigeria to a length. Of course, the next generation should take note of this. Where somewhere along the line, we will tell the story how we got here. No country in the world actually become great by enjoyment. Their greatness was forged in the fewness of war. Without the Soviet Union, America will be, what do they call these bonds from America? A donut country. Everybody in America will be chopping donuts without the Soviet Union. But of course, when Americans tell you how they get there, you will understand that it's not a work that you have to tap somebody on the back. And so what we are going through today, believe me, I believe we are born for this purpose, to correct the errors of the past, in order to preserve all the cultural heritage, in order to preserve every ethnic group, in order to preserve our value system as a people, that we might be able to salvage the next generation of our people. There are a lot to discuss, but like I told you, there is no clean slate. Don't say this is a new year, I will not chase woman. My brother, if you are Solomon, go and marry 700 wives and get 300 girlfriends. You are the wisest man, but don't quit me wrong. If you are Judas, go and betray Jesus. When they call Jesus' name, they must remember you. Maybe that is what you are made of. If you are a land grabber, be grabbing the land, because the people to cut off your hand with cutlass are waiting for you. Come and collect the land. You see, at the end, you will not understand. But the equilibrium will be balanced. There is a time to born, and there is a time to die. There is a time to be happy, and there is a time to be sad. There is a time to plant, and there is a time to harvest. These are the works of Ecclesiastes. This is a new year. Look inward. There are things you think you are not doing well. My brother, you can't help it. The only thing you can do, you can't change it. Build on it. Build on it. An edifice that will change the narrative for the good of all. A lot of people had this encounter. Even one of the most trusted followers of Christ, Apostle Paul, in Romans, he said, the good thing I want to do, I cannot do it. But the bad thing I don't want to do, that is what I see myself doing. But if I then see myself doing the bad thing that I don't want to do, and I cannot do the good thing that I want to do, then something is wrong. Paul said, who will deliver me from this misery? He called it power of sin. But I want to believe even Apostle Paul was limited in his own knowledge. Or maybe the people who recopied the Bible during their translation removed the truth Paul was trying to project, because we actually know the Bible was manipulated to suit the activities, give credit to the works of the imperialist. But then Paul acknowledged that there are certain things he wants to do, but he cannot do it. And some of you, if you are not meant to bless me, you can't bless me. And if you are not meant to curse me, you can't curse me. Because nobody curse who God has blessed, and nobody bless who God have cursed. You have been living with this notion. You thought you came with a clean slate, like your computer, your laptop, and you wake up in the morning and you type garbage in, the same garbage out. No, this is no garbage in or garbage out. You were fully loaded before you came here. And if you add addition, when you garbage out, the one that has garbage in through you will continue on that step. So for how long are we going to delay our destiny? Because the calling of God, there is no repentance. Look at the quarrel between the Christians and the Muslim. You see, nobody's trying to settle them. The Pope can go to Mecca and hit head on the black stone and behave like Muhammad, but the refraction, the disagreement between both of them can never be settled. This is one of the reasons why we believe the Bible. Because according to Abraham, he said, from thy loins will come two nations, and they will be on each other's heels. The sword of Ishmael will be against all men. You get the point? If you don't get the point, be making peace. But are the descendants of Ishmael looking for who to kill now? This is a new dispensation. They are traveling to present the message of Allah. They are not looking for who to kill. But of course, if your sword come against them, they will sword you back. They can't help it. When you see those Muslims in the north and all of a sudden they begin to behave haywire, my brother, they can't help it. But if they have understood that their sword will be against every man, they can change the direction to wield the sword. So when they feel like killing human being, let them cut the neck of the cow. They would have satisfied that blood taste, that blood fuel that runs in them. And it's applicable to you, who is a 419, a Yahoo Yahoo. When you want to feel doing Yahoo Yahoo, because it's in your nature, do yourself Yahoo Yahoo. At the end of the day, you would have done the Yahoo Yahoo without hunting anybody. My brother, when you are the one that is ordained to come and unite Ndibu, unite your father and your mother first. And then we can learn from you, love you, and follow you. If you are the one trying to inherit everybody, they migrated from me, they now migrated from that. Because this is where the problem is coming from. You are sustaining our problem. You are taking us to the last dispensation. You should go and be driving camel. You think people who acquired all this land, you are trying to claim today, you think they were using punctual transporter? Do you think they were using Lamborghini? They were using horse and camel. Go and bring horse and camel. Let us see where you will pass. That dispensation is over. This is a new year. My call and appeal to you, Nigerians, is look inward. Feel closely. Listen to yourself. Close your eyes and listen to yourself. And if you must open your eyes, open it looking at the sun. If you can do that every day, let's say in 1 month, you will never miss your path. Others may not understand you, but in the end, you would have saved all of them. You must learn to listen to yourself. We were not born to be like our father. Or rather, we were not born to be our father, nor our mother. But we could look like them. But God has fashioned to every man what we should become. And then somebody trying to make you become what you are not, you will not please God. You will not please the man. And why do I have to bring it up in this manner? Because any creature that does not live within its natural inhabitant will die. The fish, when God wanted to create the fish, he called to the water. When God wanted to create the fish, he called out to the water. And today we have different fruits on the earth. And the same God wanted to create man. He couldn't call on the water to give you man. He couldn't call on the earth to give you man because they can't produce man. And then he consulted himself. You know, someday, why did God say, come, let us create man in our image? How many were they? What you don't know is bigger than you. I don't dive into religion issue based on my level of exposure. Because the Bible actually says in Deuteronomy 29:29, the physical thing you see is for you and your children to enjoy. The spiritual one belongs unto the Lord. If God is willing to lead us into revelation, we will humbly follow, but we will not interpret it. And like I was saying, when God wanted to create man, he consulted himself and he said, come, let us create man in our own image. And so, if you as a man is living outside the presence of God, you will die. And so when you attack people with their different religion, understand they are seeking for God. Forget about whether it is original God or it is bad God, or every God have God. When God gives you God specifically, follow it with the conviction. I only present my religion to you. And if you are one of those that are called from the foundation of the earth, you will follow. If you are not, you will only come and you will destroy everything later on. Don't you know many renowned Muslims today were once Christian? Go and ask Asare Dokobo. He was a Christian, serious born again. But if that is not where God brought him, what is he today? A Muslim. Are we going to talk about Muhammad Ali? Are we going to talk about even Malcolm X and so many of them, people who were renowned Christians and then they became Muslim? And of course, there are people who were Muslims and they become Christians. And so when it comes to judging God issue, I don't get involved there. Because everybody has his God. But God is God. But choose to appear to us in different form, in diverse way. Respect that. Respect that. I said in one of my teaching, I said, there is a desire in man that seek to worship that which is greater than him or her. And that is God. They call it God. You call it Oluwa. No other may call it Allah. And then you call it Shuku. And then you call it Osolubwe. And then you call it Olise. And then you call it Tamono. And then you call it Obase. And whatever. It is different name. But to all of us, we mean the same person. And then why judge another? If you remove the fish from the water, they will die. If you remove the plant from the earth, they will die. If you remove man from his God, he will die. So be careful what you do this year. You are not a product of coincidence. Somebody planned your path. The free moral agent is allowing you to choose between good and evil. That is where you are free moral. I'm sending you to Nigeria. When you get to Nigeria, be a good citizen or be a bad citizen. And then he encourage you, be a good citizen, because that is when you will live long or blessing will be attached. But be a bad citizen, they will hold you. And so your coming to Nigeria is not your decision. Remember, you did not choose your mother. You did not choose your father. If we had that privilege, I know I would have chosen Donald Trump or that South Korea president to be my father, or Netanyahu, all these strong men to be my father. By now, I would be even terrorizing them. But I didn't choose my father. But nobody would have been able to bring me up the way I am. Nobody would have been able to tolerate me, except he was my father. And nobody would have carried me for 9 months without aborting me, except she was my mother. And I didn't make this decision. And I hope you remember, you did not choose to be in Nigeria. We found ourselves here. And then we can now choose good or bad. You can choose to inherit me or choose to leave me and help me build my own because I am small. Did you not hear the story of Igrita and Eche that I told you about? They did not destroy themselves. They help each other to be great. And as far as Ikwere people are concerned, this ethnic group, you can't toy with them. If the same thing is replicable in Abo, where I come from, you have Boji Boji Owa and Boji Boji Abo. They are all Eka people. They have slight differences in terms of incorporating one another, but they don't say it. It has been there for time immemorial, but they don't say it. Boji Boji Abo is not trying to destroy Boji Boji Owa. And Boji Boji Owa is not trying to destroy Boji Boji Abo. And I'm not talking about Boji Boji Ute and the rest. My brother, allow Nigerians to breed. You are selling fake products. You are the one that made that decision. Maybe you are truly a drug dealer. You are not selling the drug in a legal way. When they catch cocaine pusher, it look like they are demons. They are not demons, just that they are selling it in a legal way. And that could lead to a lot of illegality. Because people who sell cocaine, in fact, if you are into the pharmacy, medical line, you are dealing with cocaine on a daily basis. Your paracetamol has cocaine. Every medicine you take from the chemist, all of them have cocaine. So why would they be proud to allow you to sell cocaine? But you're doing it illegally. And that illegality will give birth to a lot of illegality. And that is why we are calling on you who think you are Wazobia, you are born to rule us. That is in the last dispensation. The next dispensation will not tolerate it. Those of you go in our village every night, Agbo is Igbo, Ikwere is Igbo, Benin is Igbo. We have declared Isha, Biafra, Godomi, Godo, Biafra, Kotomi, Koto. My dear, you are upsetting the balance. Your fathers did not succeed because they didn't have the mandate. No. Just think about it. All of a sudden, everybody start talking about Benin. Everybody, Benin. Because Benin understand their time. They operated. And that work they have done remain permanent. But now, to protect that work, Benin are here again. I hope now they feel the reception. Benin are here to protect. Don't inherit Benin. If you are not, you are not. I wish I can boast that I'm pure Benin blood. But descendant, we have descended. Leave descendant alone. Focus on the immediate. And so you see what the Benis are doing. They are doing the real job. Preserving, protecting, upholding their value system. Nobody takes it from them. You can do whatever you like. Remember, nobody comes with a clean slate. Don't let them tell you that you just come, nothing, so anything they write. It's a lie. It's a lie. But how we use what has been written is left for us, either for good or for bad. And like God will always tell us, use it for the good so that you will have good life, so that God himself will protect you. But use it for the bad. The Catholic will tell you, benedictions duos in secula. May the grace of God be with you. This is my message, New Year message. Of course, there are a lot of issues that will come up from there after now. Because as we move into the year, we should be able to teach you, explain to you the things that will make you understand our position and bring you back to course so that you will not wake up one day. The little that is given to you is taken already. Don't forget what God gave to you. If you don't make use to it of it, another people will take it from you, or even God will take it from you and give to another. But always have it at the back of your mind that every of your member, every part of your body, all of them were recorded in his book, even before he formed you in your mother's womb. Don't let them tell you otherwise. I'll quickly go to the comment section and see if there is any insult, because I love insult. Let's see. I see my brother Henry Chimeze. Brother Henry Chimeze, I greet you. Happy New Year. I greet you, my brother. I see, is it Edward? I greet you, Edward. Happy New Year. I see Prince Ifeanyi. Happy New Year, Ifeanyi. I see, don't mind me. Is it Lenny? I greet you. Lenny Lawa. I greet you, my brother. I see Stephen. I greet you, Stephen. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. You say Happy New Year, my beloved brother. Okay, I cannot see it very clearly. Henry Chimeze, I greet you once again. My brother, pardon me, slider sometime. Abubakar, I greet you from here. Happy New Year, progressive-minded people. This is a very wonderful year. Everybody here progressive-minded. My God, this is sweet. This is beautiful. And of course, I know 2025 is not ordinary year. There is something different about this year. Just look inward. Close your eyes. Look inward. Try to find out what you are meant for. It's not difficult. Just close your eye from everything. Close your eyes. Just sit down, relax. Listen to yourself. You will understand that actually there is a power that shapes your way. And of course, in the absence of these people, I'll bring the broadcast to an end. Believe me, we are not going anywhere. What we actually want is Nigeria should get to the level of maturity where we can truly be the author of our destiny. And that implies in so many ways. Have a wonderful celebration. Compliment of the season once again. I remain George Onibe, and I sign out.